dusting is kind of like the opposite of scientific glass in a way, because we're altering the tube so drastically. We lose like that, that nice wall weight that you're looking for with a scientific glass piece where everything's uniform. But that's okay because it's something that we can play with.
You kept it pretty uniform despite all the changes in the shape too, I noticed.
Thank you. Yeah,
that took a lot of effort, I bet.
Trying to keep the wall weight the same definitely is really tricky when you start to add those tubulations and you have areas where it like wants to get thinner, or if you're having trouble blowing out an area where a little too much glass might have landed.
What wall weight did you start with?
I always start out with either heavy or extra heavy wall weight. Always, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's standard wall tubing.
And what was it, 35?
I don't remember what this one was. It might have been 38. I use a lot of 38 or 44. 38, 44, I like multiples of 4, I guess. Is it 38, 44? No, okay. So I will add a nipple to that boot, but I do them both at the same time. Otherwise, they'll be looking a little funky. Looking like a lazy eye. So, I gotta try to get back to that particular size of GMO blueberry. Hold on, I'm sweat on that rod. I think thinking about the blueberries helps for sure. And now, since I did the left one first, I'll be able to see the right one as I add it. Oh, this has a bunch of, I didn't wipe my rod off on the pan. That's why. So dusty. When I do the tubulations, I am even more particular about dust on the glass, just because those bubbles will get really big on you. You'll be able to see them. We're just going to rock with the bubbles. Alright, got my GMO blueberry. Hopefully it's the same size as the last one. Aiming for that hot spot. But I'm going to start at the top and straight down towards myself. Always towards myself, into the flame. So we're getting hotter as we go. Second one's always a little better. Easier.
With your right hand too.
Oh, because you're doing you did the hard one first.
Exactly. Alright. Now, we're getting close to matching. Not perfect. Never perfect.
Did you blow when you did that?
Yeah, just a tiny little puff, yeah. Super small puff. And that one ended up getting a little bigger than the other one. It's okay, because I'm going to go back in, I'm going to soften it, I'm going to let it all shrink back up together, and then I'm going to go back in and start to shape it. So really I'm trying to kind of figure out the wall weight first. I'm not worried about like how the boob looks, like if it looks weird or not. And then I'll go back in and adjust the size and the position. So it's ready to drip, so I'm putting it over here. Let it fall. Just tiniest little pop. Okay. Nice and hot. I'll go back in there and start to curve. I always heat a line that I just touched just to take the stress out, like I said. Just like super, super gentle. Not even a puff really, just like a, I don't know, just like a little bit of pressure when I do that. And yeah, just by kind of going on top with this tool, you know, I flatten the top. I'm helping that piece move in the direction of gravity. I'm coming down, and I'm just gently puffing against it. How's I looking? All right. I'm going to smooth out the transition over here. And then just come underneath. Okay. Awesome. Sometimes I like to go back into in the middle of the chest and push it down a little bit more. There we go. Really get those sort of undulating shapes of the chest. There's a lot of little graphite nubs. Wherever Alex is, he's cringing right now. Alex always gives me a hard time for using my graphite nubs, but I like
that one nub?
What did you say?
Is that one nub? You like that one?
I do like that. I got like 3 nubs just like this. I use them like, they all have different shapes on the end and I use them for 3 different things.
Is that the wobbly one?
This is not the wobbly one. Just gonna puff out the top of the chest just a tiny bit more. Okay. Alright, now, when I do the nipples, I always use just a little tip of a rod. And I do one at a time, and I'm going to look at it looking down onto the piece, looking down the barrel. You'll see in a second. So this is just gently warm. A little long the handle. My puntito again. And the puntito is so nice because when you're done with it, wiggle and it comes right off. Now I'm looking down. Okay, I think I can match that. Nice and gently warm, hot all over. And again, I look right on. There we go.
Are you pulling glass out from the boob, or is a tiny bit coming off of the rod?
Nope, pulling glass out.
Okay.
Pulling glass out. Yeah.
Thank
You could add more from the rod, and sometimes when I do a solid piece, I will add like a little bit more to do like a different color. But for this, I never want to accidentally add like little bubbles or scuzz in like that one spot, so I just pull from the material that I have.
Butt's pretty cold now.
The butt is pretty cold. I can touch it. I mean, it's hot.
So I see some fog.
Like you wouldn't want to, the hot potato for sure, you wouldn't want to like strip it, but yeah, so you can start to see the bloom coming in the bottom of the piece. That's a time where I would pop it in the kiln before I do the next
That was
step.
my
Yeah,
question.
yeah. But at this point, the bottom of it is mostly finished. I could go back in. Sometimes I like to do more lines in the back, but what time is it? I have no idea how much time.
3:30.
3:30. How much time do I have? Business meeting starting soon? Okay. Alright, I'll wrap it up then. I'll do last couple moves on the chest.
You do an armpit? No?
Oh, the armpits. Yeah, I can't forget the armpits. Let's see. I was going to check if Sally had a... What's that? Yeah, little bigger, rounder knuckle graphite. Like a... Yes. Rounded knuckle graphite. Yeah, we have to do the armpits.
So you talked about them enough, I can see an armpit.
I was like, why does it look so weird? So I didn't do the armpits yet. Trust me, the armpits are
Ordinarily, would you have a
Yeah,
little
that's
more
perfect.
of a neck attachment there?
Yeah, I would, you could add a little blob of glass and blow it out like I did with the boobs for the neck. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Yeah, let's go in right now on the armpits. We got the tool for it. Okay, so the armpits. I have this nice big chunk of graphite. Love it. I bought like the Nicholson egg. It's like a fancy tool for like helping making goblets. Never use it for that. It's my armpit tool. It's my armpit tool. Got a good shape just like this. It's the perfect end. I come and I push up and in, and then I turn and I touch at the top, just like that. And then sometimes I'll go back in with a little bit of heat, gently touch up that area. Big difference, right? When one armpit without, you start to really see it. Just makes it so much curvier. We always say the devil's in the details. The armpit just makes a big difference.
Okay, smile.
Okay, next side. And yeah, sometimes I'll go back in there and I might even redefine that line connecting the boob to the armpit. There's more folds in there. Same thing over here. I'm moving back and forth. Big sweeping heat. I want the heat to penetrate through all that glass so I can move it all around.
But you're not really letting it sink, like you're not slumping it anywhere particularly.
Yeah, I don't want it to move somewhere where I don't want it to move. I want to tell it where to go. So I'm kind of letting it, just getting it hot, keeping it in that spot, letting it thicken up a bit there. But then yeah, I push in and then I come up just like that. And you start to really see, I really do think those armpits, for whatever reason, they really start to make it come together.
Now, if you were going to do arms with that, it's the same deal? Like you just...
Yeah, if I was going to do a side arm, if I was going to attach an arm onto that, I would probably, I would leave it like this, but I might add a little blob of glass, blow it out, and then attach the arm onto that, just so I have a little more material.
Okay.
Also, depending on the position of the arm, if the arm is down like this, it's going to be easier to do the armpit first. But if it's up, you can do the armpit second. Like after you do that whole, you can work in your seal and then go back in and sculpt the seal after the fact. Yeah, so it's always tough because I think a lot of times people are like, what's the exact way that you do this? And I think like a lot of glass blowers, it's like, well, the more you work, the more you change your style. You might not do the same thing the same way twice. Which is why it's really good, like Amy was saying, to keep really good notes, because you can remember how you do it, you can go back to it. Hopefully, if you can decipher your notes. Sometimes I'm writing so quickly, I'm like, what did I write here? And then on the chest, I always just go back in. I'm going to sort of collapse the chest a little bit at the top. And then I go back in and I give it a nice collarbone. So I kind of just push in a little bit. Get a little hotter. To kind of get that concave area that you get right here where your chest meets your shoulder. I just do that little very gentle touch, not too much, enough air so it collapses too quick. So I always use the graphite knife to move stuff around, and then I use my metal knife to carve in marks that are a little bit more aggressive. So I used this tool when I was doing the shoulder blades, now I'm doing that collarbone. If you don't like where one of them lands, you can just get them hot, soften it again, and it's on. Like that.
Do you use that knife for other things too, or just glass?
Just glass. This is my glass knife. I have a collection of knives. Kind of a weird thing for a young lady to say, but it's true.
I've heard other people who do that.
I have a wide collection of knives. Some that are like, I just bought them because I was like, this is silly.
Yeah.
Like I have a butcher's knife, but it's like the cheese. It's like it's really good because it's so square. It's like it's really great for like sculpting hard right angles and stuff like that. Yeah, the butcher's knife. And then I found this like teeny tiny knife that it's like designed to like look like a machete, but it's only this long. And I love that for like the faces and stuff, like teeny tiny details. But yeah, this knife is my travel knife, and then I have at home I have a knife that like if something happened to that knife I'd be really upset. It's like a $7 pocket knife that I got at like a thrift store.
Used a lot.
But yeah, I'm attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I think that'll do it. I'm gonna just pass this around now. I guess I could give it a little, I could give it a flame and yellow, but I think it's good to see. So the bloom is this white kind of haziness at the bottom. It's literally the sodium in the glass that has burned off and then cooled and recondensed in areas. So you can actually see that that's where there's a bit of stress in the glass, where it cooled down super quick. So I wouldn't go back in and work that area unless I was using a really soft annealing flame. I could slowly bring it up, but personally, I prefer to pop that in the kiln and let it soak for a little bit before working on it. Are there any questions?
Do you ever use a hand torch?
All the time, yeah.
Yes, that's graceful.
Thanks, y'all.